Welcome back to How to Write a Creative Memoir. I am Cicely Carr, your host. And in the first video, you learned a little bit about me, the workshop, what a memoir is, and what we're going to do in this section is we're going to talk about themes, we're going to talk about finding inspiration and getting started. So, I don't know about you, but I'm ready. I'm ready to go. So let's do this. All right. So what is a theme? So you guys, a theme. Y'all know what a theme is. Y'all go to a party and they're like dressed in all 90s. So then you come up with all of these outfits that represent the 90s, right? It could be hipstery, it could be hip hop, it can be Midwest. Like, there's so many different ways to show the 90s of attire. Yeah. And while I was just thinking of that, I'm like, man, that could be a really good memoir. The 90s, your fashion. If you're like a fashion guru and you lived an amazingly fabulous life in the 90s, oh my gosh, y'all. You could talk about your clothes. Anyway, sorry. That's, y'all, this is how my brain works, okay? So it's always on, it's always gone, it's always thinking of so many different things. So a theme is an idea that recurs in or pervades a work of art or literature. So it's something that reoccurs, right? It's over and over. Like, oh my gosh, I tripped and fell over here. I fell up the stairs there. I remember when I was going to high school, I was running late and I fell up the stairs. So a theme could be always falling, right? So thinking about that, thinking about the different themes. When I think of themes, I think of beads on a string. So your string is the theme, right? And the beads are the stories, the many stories that relate to that one theme. All right. So we have many stories, but finding that one thing that connects it is all the theme. That's the theme that we're talking about, right? So when you're thinking of themes, it explores our everyday lives. It could be both negative, it could be positive. It whatever it may be, it could be funny, it could be sad. Whatever it is, it's the theme that connects all of these stories that you want to put into your memoir. This is how it makes things so impactful. I remember like thinking about my life. Okay, this is in the ebook, and there was, for some reason, I went through a reflective retreat, spiritual retreat, and a lot of things popped into my head, because that's what happens when you start thinking about the past, and one memory opens up another memory, and that opens up another memory. But I just remembered my childhood. It just seemed like there's so many instances where I was protected by people and God, right? I remember when I stood on this shelf. I was putting up the dishes, helping my mom in our house, and the glasses were all on the top. I have no idea why the glasses were on the top shelf, but that's where they were, right? And so I stood up to put the glasses on that shelf, and then all of a sudden the whole shelf fell. My mom looked at me and she said she saw all of these glasses and plates fall, but none of them hit me. She was like, this child is safe. But that was crazy, right? Another time is that I fell out of a moving truck when I was in first grade. We were going to softball practice and I was on the edge, and we got off at the wrong stop, and I opened the door, but the driver, the man, my friend's dad, he was like, oh, we have to go somewhere else. And so I must not have shut the door all the way. And then when he turned that corner, I fell out and I blacked out. I don't remember anything until I hit the ground. Um, and so, but I was fine. I was perfectly fine. I may have like hit my stomach or my elbow, but I was perfectly fine. I did get in an ambulance because I was like, I've never been in an ambulance. This sounds like fun. But I was perfectly fine. I fell out of a moving truck and I was good to go. Right? Protection, right? There's something. God, right? So then also, I remember my mom, she was very protective. She was like, you can't stay the night over your friend's house. You have to come home at a certain time. You can't watch this. You can't listen to this. Like, I was so protected from so many things that could have, like, traumatized me, corrupted me, did different things to me, exposed me to things that I probably shouldn't have been exposed to at such a young age, right? But then I also remember things like I remember driving in a storm, a winter storm, and I was turning the corner, getting on the freeway, and I did not see, well, no, there was black ice, right? And I hit the black ice. There was a whole bunch of cars already ran into the walls and the median. They were everywhere. For some reason, I felt that steering wheel take over. It moved me past all the cars. Like, there was cars in my path. There's black ice. And I made it out of there safely. Y'all, that was the most craziest thing I've ever experienced. But thinking about that protection, right, from my mom, people, just things that happen around me protecting me. It also makes me think about, how it, especially my mom, how she preserved my innocence, right? But I can also see how all of that protection, groomed me and shaped me as an adult where, like, I'm all about self-preservation. I don't want to do anything that's going to hurt my body, right? Whether it be drugs, sex, partying, doing crazy stuff. I drink my wine. I do drink my wine, but, but just thinking about, I protect myself from doing other things that could hurt me, right? But on the flip side, it's like I can see how that protection made me very cautious in life, holding me back from fully living. Like, I felt so protected that I was scared to even live. So the theme of protection, the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? that's a memoir talking about my different experiences of protection, y'all. So as you guys start thinking about the different themes, I want you to reflect it in your writing. I want you to remember stories. I want you to remember memories, events, feelings, emotions, thoughts, right? And so I want you to pull those out. And so what we're going to do is kind of go through a list of some themes, right? And how it could be played out. So thinking about new additions, whether that may be a new baby, a new job, or newfound money. Like, do you know what could happen to you when you have a newfound money, right? Thinking about body image. There is this amazing book that I have to find. Why am I struggling? But the other book that I was talking about was Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah, Born a Crime. Make sure y'all check that out. It could be, aging. Like, I don't know about you, but I am about to be 36 years old. And I think about, the timeline, right? Thinking about what you should have done or what people think you should have done at this time. But in reality, I'm on my own timeline, right? So talking about aging as a theme. You can talk about the teachers in your life, whether it be a mother, your teacher, your real teacher, someone down the street, your boss. Thinking about how people have taught you different things throughout your life. You can talk about grief, losing someone, anger, So yes, there are so many more themes listed in that ebook. But what are some things that you can think of off the top of your head that you don't see right now? What are some themes that you think you could explore in your memoir? I want you to take some time and write that down, reflect on it, write it, and yes, pause the video if you need to. That is good. All right. Memoir isn't the summary of a life. It's a window into a life, very much like a photograph in its selective composition. It may look like a casual and even random calling up of bygone events. It's not. It's a deliberate construction. First of all, y'all, this quote right here speaks volumes to like what a memoir is and what it could be, right? So just thinking about a window, like if someone were to look through a window at your life, what would you want them to see? What do they see? Thinking about that view and how you want them to see it. That is what your memoir is. It's not an open door where people can come in and out. It is a memoir, a little piece. It is a excuse me. It is a window. It's a snapshot, that photograph that you have in your hand. Tell a story of that photograph. Yo, so beautiful. All right. So we have finding inspiration. This is fun, y'all. This is so much fun because it's like we never know how, like what we should write about, right? So we are going to talk about different ways to find that inspiration. Okay? So inspiration can come from anywhere. And now that you are thinking about writing a memoir, things, I tell you, I promise you, things are going to start sparking into your memory when you look at new things. You could be sitting on your couch of 10 years and then all of a sudden a memory pops up. That's because, first of all, I believe in the power of the mind, and what you continue to think about, it will come, right? So these will come from anywhere. Think about like just sitting on a beach, right? And all of a sudden a memory pops up. Why did that memory pop up? What I encourage y'all to do is just always have a journal, always have a pen, especially if you really are going to try and work on this memoir, right? I want you to explore. I want you to go deeper. A lot of times, because we weren't writing a memoir. Now we are. We have these memories, but we didn't go deep down and ask the questions of why am I thinking about this? Why, what's the purpose? Why does this specific memory pop up? What lessons came through? Who did I meet? How did I feel, right? It could be from reading other memoirs, right? You can read Born a Crime by Trevor Noah and remember about all the times where you had to hide your identity from other people because you could get in a lot of trouble, right? I don't know what your story is, but I'm looking forward to hearing all about it. You can ask questions to people. Y'all, have a conversation with your family. Ask them, if I were to write a story about my life, what would you like to know about? And maybe they're going to say your birth story, not you being born. Or it could be, but it wouldn't be your story because you weren't really there, right? But it could be like maybe you're having a baby or you had a baby and your story was so profound. You could talk about how, you had a baby in the car. I don't know what it is. They may want to know about how you survived high school in a small white country, being a dark-skinned black girl, 3.5, 4 hours away from your family, right? They want to know how you survived that, what you experienced, the racism that happened, the friends you lost. That's a story. That is a story. That's a memoir, y'all. Ask them, y'all. Think about the people in your life, objects, right? I feel like there was a book about a diamond ring, and it was brought down by family members, and with each passing or of the generations, a family was totally different that held it. And you can talk about the theme of the ring, right? Yeah, this is where you get to brainstorming and reflecting and just figuring it out. Like, you're not going to write a memoir in a day. So I beg you to take time in this journey, this process of, finding those memories, those that inspiration that people, want to hear about your story. All right. So, let's talk about getting started. It is time to get to the nitty-gritty. So, in your ebook, what I want you to do, y'all have a lot of reflection papers. There are theme prompts. There are pages that you can write in. But then you also have spaces for the memories. So when you look at the journal prompts, what I want you to do is experience them, right? Think about one of the prompts says, think about a time where you were the most happiest. Why were you happy? What do you remember? What did you see and how did you feel? What could you smell? So I want you to take time to dive deep into these reflection questions. But then also start thinking about memories. And when you think about those memories, think about the life lessons from the memories. Think about, is this something I would love to share with others, or people need to know about this? Think about how this memory can relate to others. And then who and what type of person would benefit from this memory and why? So just always be thinking about these questions. So we're going to wrap up this portion, and I want you to spend at least a week or two in reflection mode. Like, you don't have to, you can watch all the videos in one sitting and then do the work. But I want you to take time to make sure you are reflecting, you are thinking about these memories, the lessons that you can get out of these memories. Talk to people, go explore, and just really enjoy the process. Happy reflecting, y'all. Peace and blessings. See you in video 3.